Okay, today my wishes have come true. Oh, hallelujah! We've got a flat earther. Flat earther appeared on the morning news show. So what I'm going to do is I'll try not to interrupt him speaking too much, even though I want to, and I'll do a discussion at the end why and how I'm going to debunk this guy because I'm not a flat earther, that's for sure.
Now, for almost 3,000 years, scientists and philosophers have declared that the Earth is round. But a growing group of people say they just don't believe that.
Anyone ever told you the Earth is flat?
It's the bizarre conspiracy theory supported by more than 6 million people.
What if this was just the illusion?
Known as Flat Earthers. These theorists attend conferences.
Oh, let's have a look at some of them. Hang on, I got to stop this.
Known as Flat Earthers. These theorists attend conferences.
There we go. Actually, they look quite normal, don't they? You sort of think that they'd be all wearing tinfoil hats, but they look fairly normal, don't they? Actually, some of them even look. This guy here looks pretty scientific, actually, doesn't he? There you go. Let's continue.
Who is behind propagating the globalist lie? Is it the US government? Are other governments in collusion?
Yes, yes, and yes. All those things. All of the above.
Conduct experiments.
Recently, we carried out an experiment to test rotation to the Earth.
And even plan to voyage to the end of the Earth.
Why not raise the money and do an exploration and find the edge of the Earth?
We have acquired funding. It was only a matter of time before we were going to get money, so now the experiments start ramping up.
Yeah, one of the world's most prominent flat earthers, Mark Sargent, joins us now in Seattle. Mark, welcome to you. So, we've got our props, I believe you have yours too, but this is awesome. So, first of all, explain where your belief that the Earth is flat comes from.
Sure. My belief where the Earth is flat comes from 5 different reasons, real fast. One, long-distance photography, which is, if it is a globe, then we shouldn't be able to see as far as we can with high-def cameras. 2 would be gravity versus...
I don't get what he's on about there. Can the flat earther please explain to me that long-distance photography? You know, you can see to the horizon. You know, like there's formulas you can work out the horizon by how high you are above the Earth's surface, and that's why you can see further when you're up high in in Adelaide, for example, Mount Lofty. You can see further from Mount Lofty than you can at ground level. So I don't know where he's coming from there. So I think these guys are just good salesmen, and they just dupe people. Anyway.
The vacuum of space, meaning the atmosphere should be sucked out into space almost instantly. The power of the vacuum cannot be defeated by gravity. Third would be the eclipse shadow. The eclipse shadow, it's the wrong size. The moon is 2,000 miles wide, and yet the moon shadow is only 70 miles wide. That's a 97% decrease. It can't happen. Fourth would be the temperature of the moon, and I know we're pressed for time, so I'll rattle off real quick. The temperature of the moon. The moon generates a cold light. Look it up yourself. And fifth would be the Van Allen radiation belts. Van Allen radiation belts are super deadly. How did the American space program go through it? Round trips. Nobody died. Nobody even got cancer. There's still 5 of them walking around today. How's that?
Good. I think you nailed it. Thanks for coming on.
Mark.
I'm in.
I do have a couple of other questions, Dave.
Okay.
Flat
Good night, everybody.
like yourself, flat earthers believe that we are actually living in a dome. So can you explain to us how that works? And the ice,
right.
There's an ice wall. Is that right?
I think what actually happened is these flat earthers got these cute little domes you get for Christmas. I think they got one of those one year, and they fell in love with this dome theory, and now they all believe that the Earth is a dome.
Sure. Okay, so the mainstream globe proponents believe that you are on a little rock with water that sticks to the outside of it that's flying through 5 different directions, right? You can get rid of that. What we think is that you are living in a building, a structure, a planetarium, a terrarium, just like this. It's a little bit of a snow globe with walls and a floor and a ceiling, and that all the continents look pretty much the same with the exception of Antarctica, which is stretched around the entire outside, not like a Game of Thrones ice wall, but a very, very large continent that goes on for thousands of miles inland.
Yeah. So there's White Walkers out there. So then, when I was growing up, right? When I was growing up, Mark, and we see shots of space, and we live in a solar system with planets, and all the planets are round.
Round.
So then, how come we're flat and they're round? Or am I not seeing the right
when
thing?
we see shots of the Earth from space, it's a sphere.
Oh, I see Joe, mate.
Well, there you go. Somebody's got to be lying. And if you believe the American space program, well, you have another thing coming. What I'm saying is that NASA has been fabricated since minute one to basically keep this thing under wraps. The sun and the moon and the stars and the planets are just part of a light show. No different than if you went to a planetarium and looked up on the ceiling. I mean, the technology is much, much better. We've been doing planetariums since the 1970s. But can I remember, we've only had HD technology for the last 20 years. Imagine what we could do in the next 100. So whoever built this, way more advanced than us.
Wait.
This is where it gets very nutty. Listen, I've never seen this theory before that this flat earther believes that somebody built the globe. The dome. Somebody built the dome.
Who built it?
Who built it, mate?
Well, take your pick. It's one of two things. It's either a highly advanced, either an advanced civilization. I don't like to call them aliens because I don't believe in that they come from Mars or Venus or Saturn. I think they're older versions of us. But if it's not some sort of advanced civilization, well, then it's the divine, and one man's advanced tech is another man's deity, so take your pick.
So, but Mark, if this is indeed the case, why would so many people be in a conspiracy to convince us that the Earth is round? Why wouldn't we just go, OK, well, the Earth is a dome?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
And that's a great question, because what we're talking about here, and by the way, I don't think that people had anything to do with this thing. All I'm saying is that...
Oh my God, he keeps going on about it. Ah, dear. It wasn't built by aliens.
The United States government and the Soviet Union figured this in about 1960. Even our best and brightest couldn't figure this out until about 1960. And then there comes the question. And I know you as journalists think, oh, you should tell the people. It's like, don't jump to conclusions, because there's three things that could happen. Potentially, all your academia would be turned upside down. All your physical sciences would have to be rebuilt from the ground up. Your world markets would have to be suspended for months to figure out where the dust settles. And then, of course, the 5 religious houses all of a sudden have an advance over science, which they haven't for the last 5 centuries. That's a lot to take in for a civilization.
But science moves on. But, Mark, science does move on. Science is the art of science is to look at something, break it down, see if it works, go in different theories. So why hasn't this been worked on before? And if what you're saying is true, then science will go, OK, let's prove this theory. If the theory proves true, then we all move on with the new theory.
Exactly, that's what happens. There've been lots of revolutions in science, and the world doesn't just stop. It just goes, okay, that's the new evidence. We're going with that now. So there we go. The markets wouldn't. If flat Earth dome, whatever you want to call it, was true, there wouldn't be this catastrophic scenario this guy's coming up with.
Science takes care of its own. You got to remember, science, mainstream science, and I call it scientism at this point because they've really turned science into its own religion. They put the rubber stamp on things they can't prove, like carbon dating, like the Big Bang Theory, like dark matter, like evolution, and so on and so on. But if science has been pushing this for the last 5 centuries, they've got a vested interest in it from their institution standpoint. It's the foundation of everything that they are.
No, see, I disagree. There was one point... At one point in scientific history where they believed that the universe was steady state, and then Hubble came along and worked out that. Oops, hang on. Sorry, I've got a 10-minute limit on my live view here. I'll just put it back. There we go. Got another 10 minutes now. Okay, so Hubble came along and worked out the Earth was expanding through the spectrography and the Doppler shift of the objects and so forth. So science hasn't got a vested interest in anything. Let's move on here.
So they're going to protect it at all costs.
Mark,
so I don't blame them.
In flat Earth theory, Antarctica is actually an ice wall at the edge of the Earth, and a group of people are planning an expedition there, I assume, to prove the theory, right?
Some There's some rapper that's doing it. I can't remember. Is it Drake? Don't want to spread rumors, but we can look it up later.
Well, it's a nice idea, and I hate to burst your bubble, but that particular story was spawned from because we do Flat Earth conferences, and the conference in 2020 is actually going to be a cruise, but it's leaving out of Miami, and it's just a recreational cruise. Some UK journalist decided to put his own spin on it and said, oh, wouldn't it be great if they turned it into an expedition?
It would be.
So there is no planned expedition. I'm sorry. I hate to do that.
Surely, now, let me ask another question then, Mark. Surely you're getting a lot of money off YouTube hits and getting this out there and merchandise and gathering 6 million people. That's not a small amount of money if you're conducting a business and trying to put something out there. Couldn't you, like Tesla or somebody like that, conduct your own experiment by getting into a rocket, going up there and having a look for yourself, or going to the ice wall?
Okay.
So my theory is you should get like a GoPro. Well, it's been done before, but they always say it's perspective. So get yourself a modified GoPro. Make sure that that you've got a flat plane lens, so there's no sort of distortion. Send it up in a bloody weather balloon. When it comes down, look at the footage. It'll be curved. Anyway, let's keep going.
If the walkers are there.
The expedition would be nice, absolutely. But the Antarctic Treaty, which is rock solid and not even up for debate until 2041, keeps just about any authorized expedition from happening. So we are stuck with the ground experiments. Long distance photography, lasers, weather balloons. Take your pick. We do a lot of different
weather
experiments.
balloons.
But yes,
Come
the
on,
expedition
guys.
would be nice. And as far as money goes, come on. You don't get into Flat Earth to make money. In fact, I don't care about fame. I don't care about money. I just want to be right. And I don't make that much money off it yet.
You're wrong.
Yet. I think you need to get bigger props. We have a much bigger prop than you, and therefore I think our theory is better than yours.
Okay. And again, if you don't, what I try to tell people is if you don't hate Flat Earth when you first hear about it, there's probably something wrong with you. Everybody that got into Flat Earth hated it. I tried to debunk it for 9 months, and that is, can you prove the globe in a court of law? And can you do it without using a space agency? And eventually, you are going to run out of threads to pull on, and the only place you're going to have left to turn is this. And by the way, that number, 6 million people, that is way lower than what you might think. I don't know where you get the 6 million from, but it's way higher
What would you say
than
the
that.
number is?
What is the number?
Oh God, it's got to be over 100 million at this point. We're massive.
Million.
We
Seriously?
before YouTube tore down its scoreboard, we were more popular than the President of the United States over here when it came to metrics.
Come on, guys.
We beat him in the middle of last summer.
Mark,
we were tracking higher.
we do have to go because Mark, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but our satellite is going to cut you off, and I'm so sorry. If you come to Australia, let us know. Come on in, let's have a chat.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
All right, so let's debunk this. And every time I meet a flat earther, I always show my little debunking here. So let's go back. Let's go back to the visual. There's a few ways to debunk this. There's a little visual of his little model here. Here we go. So here's what the flat earthers believe. Okay, so you got your little sun here. Yep, there we go. There we go, it's working. Got the sun. So I'm in Australia over here, right? I'm in Australia, so the sun is moving away from me. Right? As you can see, the sun's moving away. Comes around. Then it's coming towards me here. Then it's moving away. It's going around. Coming towards me here. Then moving away. My question is for the flat earthers, why does the sun appear the same size? Like they make up all this bullshit about, look at the perspective and all this sort of crap. But it's pretty logical. That's a lot of distance. That's a lot of distance. And if you're only, I think the theory is between 700 and 3,000 miles above the Earth. If you got this large object of the sun being so directly overhead, they're saying it's 3,000 kilometers, say, right? So over here, so when you're over here, I don't think there's any dispute that what's this distance? Probably about 40,000 kilometres. Says the trip it takes around. Say about 40,000 kilometres. You can't tell me that the sun isn't going to appear smaller as it moves away from you, but it doesn't. Get yourself a telescope. You can get special solar scopes, and have a look for yourself. The sun remains the same size, and it's what frustrates me, because they always come up with this perspective like, when you see the moon and it's on the horizon, looks really big and blah blah blah. But that's perspective. That's a mind trick. If you get a telescope and you look at the moon on the horizon, you take a photo, right? You put it on your computer monitor, and you take a photo when it's 20 degrees up in the sky and 45 up in the sky and overhead. It's all the bloody same size. I've got a telescope myself, and the moon is always the same size throughout the night. It varies in distance, through the lunar cycles there, and that's why you get you get the close approaches and you get supermoons and that. But in general, in one night, it doesn't change size. So flat earthers, I'm going to debunk you here. If the sun does not change size as it's rotating around us, as you think, like this, cruising around. All right, so that's one debunking method. I've got another one here. Let's go here to the browser. And this guy, this flat earther, actually what I'll do is I'll just restart the camera again. There we go, get another 10 minutes. This flat earther, he actually spent $20,000 on a laser gyroscope, and he found that they were picking up a drift of 15 degrees per hour. And if you do the maths, 15 by 24 is 360 degrees. He's basically just proved that the Earth rotates and around the globe. And there's another little one with the water level here as well, where this guy he shines the light through, and when he's further away, he's got to lift the lamp up to get it through the holes. If it was flat, he wouldn't need to lift the lamp up. Because he's on a curved surface here, he had to lift the lamp up. I don't know. There's some people that think the Earth is flat, and I'm perplexed by it all. And you get on these flat Earth like wikis here, and they're talking about little headlights. You got your headlights, and they appear big, and that's just a dispersion of light. If you get a telescope and have a look, the headlights aren't bigger there. Oh my god. Seriously, I don't know what more to say on this subject. It's just stupidity thinking that. Now here it is, magnification of the sun. That sunset. There's no magnification. That's just an optical illusion. Like your brain. That's brain effect. That's not. If you seriously go grab a telescope, put your camera on it, get a T adapter. I've got a 12-inch Dobsonian telescope myself. And I like taking photos of the moon. I take photos of the International Space Station. I don't know what you guys flat earthers think the International Space Station is, but that's real. I've got photos of the bloody thing. And anyway, go grab your telescope. You'll see that when it's on the horizon, it takes up exactly the same amount in your frame as it does when it's above like 40 degrees, 45 degrees, whatever. It's just do your experiments, Maybe I'll do some experiments myself, and I'll get out there with my telescope and I'll show you. But just do it yourself. I'm not wasting my time on this rubbish. It's just I thought I'd do one short video because it was on the news, and of course I'm going to get all flat earthers trying to have a go at me. But just do your own experiments, man. It's just I don't trust the government either, but they're not. It's not a conspiracy. The Earth is a globe. It is spherical and it's slightly squashed on the top and bottom. All right, That's for all intents and purposes, it's basically a sphere. Alright guys, so leave your comments below. I'll try and keep as many comments up as I can. I won't delete the Flat Earth comments or anything. We'll have a bit of a debate in the comment section. We'll see where it goes. So see you next time, guys. Bye.